Hi, that's Bogdan, and today we'll speak about notion of plot explained by Aristotle. Tragedy is in imitation of action with the following characteristics. It's serious, complete, of significant magnitude, depicted with rhythmic language or song in the form of action, not narrative, and produces a purgation of pity and fear in the audience, also known as catharsis. Since tragedy is the imitation of action, it is chiefly concerned with the lives of men, and thus presents a stage for character and thought. Character, or the qualities ascribed to a certain man, and thought, according to Aristotle, are the two causes from which actions spring. These elements also determine the success of a given action. Plot, then, is arrangements of incidents, successes or failures that result from character and thought giving way to action. With the above in mind, Aristotle lays out the 6 parts that define a tragedy: plot, character, diction, thought, spectacle, and song. Plot is the most important part of tragedy for a number of reasons. First, the result of a man's actions determines his success or failure, and hence his happiness, so it is the action which is paramount, not character, which doesn't necessarily affect every action. Second, without action there cannot be a tragedy, but there can be a tragedy without character. Thirdly, diction, song, and thought, even elegantly combined, cannot replicate the action of life without plot. Aristotle goes on to describe the elements of plot, which include completeness, magnitude, unity, determinate structure, and universality. Completeness refers to the necessity of a tragedy to have a beginning, middle, and end. A beginning is defined as an origin by which something naturally comes to be. An end, meanwhile, follows another incident by necessity, but has nothing necessarily following it. The middle follows something just as something must follow it. Magnitude refers simply to length, and the tragedy must be of a length which can be easily embraced by the memory. That said, Aristotle believes that the longer a tragedy, the more beautiful it can be, provided it maintains its beginning, middle, and end, and in the sequence of these 3 acts, the tragedy will present a change from bad fortune to good, or from good fortune to bad. Unity refers to the centering of all the plot's action around a common theme or idea. Determinate structure refers to the fact that the plot all hinges on a sequence of casual, imitative events, so if one were to remove even one part of the plot, the entire tragedy will be disjointed and disturbed. More simply, every part of a good plot is necessary. Universality refers to the necessity of a given character to speak or act according to how all or most humans would react in a given situation, according to the law of probability or necessity. Aristotle ends the discussion of plot elements by pointing out his particular disdain for episodic plots in which episodes succeed one another without probably or necessarily sequence, like a weekly sitcom, for instance. These episodic dramas sketch plot beyond their capacity and hence are inorganic. Aristotle highlights the promise of action in this section as the key to an artist's imitation. Indeed, because action initiates a chain of causal events, and it is a single most important driver of plot. Though an astute reader may ask, what causes action? Aristotle quickly responds by arguing that ultimately the things that drive action, character and thought, are nearly as important as the action itself. For plot is the simple arrangement of incidents in causal chains, and in the plot alone we can find satisfaction, even if it is not clearly motivated with character or thought. Thank you very much for attention. Subscribe and see you in the next video. Good day.